everybody. Today I'm going to talk to you about image adjustments and filters. With image adjustments, you can take different pictures and make the colors more similar. So right here you see a pretty basic green. Here it's more of a yellow green, and here it's a really dark green. So what I want to do is make these two match this shade of green. And it's really easy to do this with image adjustments. I'm just going to scoot him up there so you can see him. Okay, so I'm on this light yellowy green, and I want to make it look more cool green like this one. So I'm going to go up top to Image, Adjustments, and all of these options will let me change the lightness, the darkness, the color, the value. I can even make it blue or pink if I wanted to, but I want to keep it pretty realistic. So I'm going to start with Image, Adjustments, Levels, and you have these little radio buttons down here that you can tweak and move left to right, and I'm going to start moving it. See how it's already starting to go darker like this one? So I can move these guys around left and right. I could also come up here and change my channel. Maybe I want it to be more blue. Look at that. So now this much more closely resembles this than it did before. So I'm going to say OK, and then I'm going to go Edit, Undo. See the difference? Watch it. Yeah, now this one matches this one so much more, and that was just Image Adjustments Levels. Now this one is really dark. I'm going to try Image Adjustments Levels again, and I'm going to start to move this one over. Look at that. Just moving one level over made it match so much better. Now, let's say I want to make this dark again. I can go Image, Adjust, Brightness, Contrast. From here, I can make it really, really dark. And now it looks like it did before. Maybe I want to make it a completely different color. I can go Image, Adjustments, Hue and Saturation. I just made a purple apple. Who doesn't want a purple apple? That's awesome. Maybe I want to make it less vibrant. I can go Image Adjustments, Vibrancy, and I can start to calm that down. See, now it's going grayscale. And now it's just more of a muted purple. So you can go back and forth between all of these. I could go back to Image Adjustments, Levels, and I could make it brighter again. So you can use all of these image adjustments on top of each other until you get the colors to look the way you want to. So with our current assignment, we want to have very poppy colors like Wayne Thiebaud did with all of his cakes and pies and dessert paintings. So I'm going to take us to a picture of cupcakes. So we just learned how to make these brighter, which I'll do in a little bit. But first I want to show you how you can do filters to make it look more like it's painted, that thick painting of Wayne Thiebaud. So if I go Filter Gallery, and I can zoom in and out down here, what I want to do is I want to try plastic wrap. So here we have different folders, and you can click on each folder and see different options that appear. Well, I want to start with something called plastic wrap. Notice how it made it kind of have that thick, like frosting quality like Wayne Thiebaud's pictures did. I can further exaggerate it or soften it up here with this highlight strength and detail options. And smooth it. I can make it really apparent. So this is a really quick, easy way to make it look like I've got frosting in my picture. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. Now I'm going to undo that. I hit Control-Z. I'm going to come back to Filter Gallery. Now remember, when you've used a filter, the one you just used always pops up at the top. So if I click on this, see how it applied that filter? I don't want that. I want to try a new filter. So I'm going to go Filter, Filter Gallery. Skip that first one. Come here. And this time I'm going to try Paint Dots. So I'm going to click on here. See how already it starts to look softer? Looks a little bit more like actual frosting. Look at that. I can blur it out a whole bunch, or I can blur it out a little. So the difference between that and the original, see, it made it look more like frosting, like it's been painted. Now another option I want to show you is watercolor. Filter, again, skip this one, come to the second filter gallery. And I'm going to click on watercolor over here. Notice it made it darker, but it made the edges show up more. So I can take the shadows really far away, or I can make it really dramatic. I can add a lot of texture to it, which remember, Thibaut's paintings have a ton of texture. Look at all the texture I just added there. It looks like 3D frosting. Big difference from the original. So what if I put all three of those filters together? So let's do filter gallery. I'm going to start with plastic wrap. Make it kind of subtle. There we go. That starts to look pretty 3D. Now I'm going to come back and go filter gallery. I'm going to do some paint daubs. I'm going to soften it up a little bit. So you can make it hardly noticeable at all, or you can make it really apparent what you're doing. So now I've got more 3D depth happening. Now I'm going to go back again, and this time I'm going to add the last one. I'm going to try watercolor. Now I don't want to get too dark, and I don't want to lose my cupcakes. Look at that. That's horrible. I totally lost my cupcakes. Texture. Let's bring the texture down. There we go. And I want a little darkness, but not too much. Okay, so now I've done 3 different filter effects to change my original cupcake image. Now I could come in and do image adjustments as well. Maybe I want to make it brighter. Maybe I decided I wanted it darker than it was. I've got a whole lot of options I can play with. I can do image adjustments, hue and saturation. I can change the colors of my cupcakes. Ooh, that one's kind of fun. I can make it really bright and bold. And then maybe I do an image adjustment, brightness, contrast. And I just make it a little bit brighter because that watercolor effect made it kind of dark. So there are a lot of different things you can do. I would encourage you to play around with all of the options. Here's the example I provided on our Schoology page. So I'll zoom in here so you can see it better. So this is plastic wrap. This is paint daubs. And this is watercolor, just some simple things to make the pictures feel more your own. This is paint daubs and plastic wrap. This is all 3 together like we just did in our tutorial. And then this is the 3 with image adjustments. So there's a whole lot of things you can do. I would encourage you to play around with them. One thing I didn't mention, let me go find an apple here, is that you can also do some pretty wild black and white filters. So if you hide the artistic folder, you have a sketch folder, and it makes everything black and white. Or if you change your foreground and background color, it will change them to match those as well. So you can get some really neat effects from that. We have some that will put texture on it. The key here is that you want to be inspired by Thibaut's paintings and the bold, bright colors of the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs story. And so you really do want bright colors for this assignment, but these are all things you might want to use in a future project. So it's okay to take some time, snap through a bunch of them, and see what the different effects do. Okay, that's all we've got time for. Good luck, have fun!